I have to start this by saying, like, I'm not at all impressed with myself. Like, I think of how I felt when I was young and I was coming up with narcolepsy, and how lost I felt. And I think my current inability to express myself to what could be the next generation of little me's is, embarrassing at best. And I really want to make an effort to dig deeper, to look a little further back, to try and bring something meaningful to the forefront for people who are actively struggling with this for the first time. But all I can really do is frame my perspective currently, and like where I'm really at and what that really means. And what I have to actually be honest about what I'd really say to a young kid in terms of my experience now. And so, like, even right now, mentally, what I'm telling myself is like, just let it out and realize you're never going to show anyone this because it's too real. And you would never want to have anyone know this about you. And so, if you're feeling that at any point, in hearing this, I'd love to know that because, shit, it would have meant something to me when I was younger. But, like, for example, I'd start with the kid and say, like, yeah, like, assuming they told me, like, life is hard for them in a lot of the ways that life was hard for me when I was a kid, I'd say, absolutely, you're totally right. It sounds like you're working really hard just to have everyone think you're not working hard. And I then further that if they ask me strategies, I would say, well, you're not going to like what I have to hear. What I have to say is, you're going to have to learn how to like specifically for cataplexy, where you fold up like a wet noodle when someone, let's say, tickles you or tells you a joke or compliments you or elevates you to that like center of attention status. It could be any general thing. It could be anger. It could be a lot of things. You're going to have to learn how to dull that experience of pleasure so that you can maintain control of yourself. Because ironically, you can become comfortable losing control of yourself and falling over like a baby deer, or like like you're having a seizure or just kind of melting back into your chair, whatever it is. You could become comfortable being that vulnerable, but it makes other people uncomfortable when you do that. That's not fair. That's not how it should be. But ultimately, that's the world we all live in. I'd love to say that you could have some anti-discrimination, pro-fucking empathy movement that's going to take place. But in the meantime, you can't show everyone your panic button where when they push it, you melt. You can't give that to people because when people see you that vulnerable, it makes them feel uncomfortable. I'll just leave that at that for now. The opposite is you have a level of pain, suck, tiredness, whatever you want to call it, right? Dissatisfaction that you're going to have to carry with you, that no one's going to accept that you have. And the pat on the back you deserve when you push through that, you'll never get. And you're going to have to learn to work for less, to live with less, to expect less. And be empathetic that other people can't understand. And you wouldn't want them to. I mean, you don't want... I think you want someone eventually, but you wouldn't want everyone to have that. Because the only way I've been able to... And this is as someone who grew up with it, so... maybe in a lot of ways I'm different, that I'm not someone who like remembers being normal and then had this hoist upon me. But man, I can't imagine. You're competing in a non-tired world, whether you like it or not. And until there's some technology that allows some tired meter to read on your forehead, you're living in a non-tired world. And you're just going to have to find whatever level of that makes the most sense to you. And I'm not here to judge. If you're someone who feels like, man, I can't ever work, I can't take stimulants, they stress me out, I just am going to have to ride it out, stay home, chill, be disabled, whatever. I don't judge you at all. But if someone's asking me the advice for someone who wants to just get back in the game and be a normal person, it's pain training in terms of what type of discomfort you're willing to endure and how much of that 10 out of 10 happy experience you're willing to remove from your public life. And I'm not recommending hiding your condition, but to continue to function, you're gonna have to make changes in terms of how tired you're gonna allow yourself to be in public, to where you could be at risk of being caught completely awestruck where you have nothing to say, and or just fall over and melt to the ground, to where people think you're hurt, but you're not. You're just, that's all you got. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I said even one thing that would resonate with someone else. I just realized, like, I had a lot on my plate today. I came home, I had a friend come over for a bit, and then I was laying down at 9. I realized, man, if I go to bed at 9, like, I can't sleep through the night, and I'll be up at like 5, and then I'll be tired midday, and it's just not functional. So I gotta get myself up. I was like, what would be pleasant enough that it would get me out of bed? And I was like, I'll take a shower. Alright, cool. And as I was in the water, I was thinking, what's funny about showers is when I was in high school, not even high school, I just remember that the best. But my whole life, when I would shower, I would basically kind of melt, like wither, like to the point where like 2-3 minutes in, I'm laying on the shower floor, and like my dad used to have to come in the bathroom, wake me up, come to snag me up and be like, shut the fuck up, we gotta get a shower, because we only had one shower for me and my 2 sisters, so I had to get the fuck out of there. And I realize now when I shower, I lock my knees out and my feet kind of go numb. But I never sit down in the shower because I know I'll pass right the fuck out. So I had to learn to be like less comfortable in the shower. I still love it. It's still relatively comfortable compared to all other things. But that warm water, it just brings something out of me, kind of melts me. And I'm sure it does that to everyone, but for me it was like literally, it's like a hazard, you know what I'm saying? Hit the deck in the shower. So you got to make decisions in terms of functioning versus just being someone who takes it as it comes and experiences that love of that warm water in the moment. I gotta brush that off and keep it moving to get up for work in the morning, or else I'll be in there. Even just the mind fog, I'll be in. I have to kind of keep track of how much time it's taking me. But yeah, I think for now, I'm not sure what I'd tell a young kid. Other than that, life is good either way. I mean, you gotta just find a way to navigate the world we live in. All of us, everyone has challenges, and I'm a firm believer, and I'm not special, and no one else is either. And it's easy to find someone who has it harder, and to some extent, it's easier to find someone who has it easier. But what does that even mean? We're all here for the time we're here, and you just gotta make of life what you can. And if you're looking for an excuse to do nothing, you don't have to have a chronic condition to find that excuse. And I don't encourage anyone ever give up, because there's a lot of good to be had out there in the world. I appreciate you watching my thoughts, and I hope one day I have the courage to release this type of content to the world. But that's all I got for now.